The United States is trying to intimidate or to bully Uganda, but its leader, Yoweri Museveni, is showing who he is, that he is the unshakable one. What am I talking about? The US has requested to have an army base, but the Ugandan government has denied it. It's not only that. There are other things that also the Ugandan government has resisted. Hello, I am Mahlet Ayele, your host at Connect Africa, bringing you the latest from the continent. So for today, we look at what President Museveni has just said. You know, a lot has happened in the year just ended, in the last months of the year, where the US has tried to intimidate or to bully Uganda, as it has been trying to a number of African countries. But Uganda has shown, really has stood up and shown that it is the unshakable one under its leader, Yoweri Museveni. So this is what happened. Let me just share with you his speech with regards to, how the U.S. starts. There are three things. First of all, the Ugandan government, saying no for the army base of the U.S. Also, the second one is showing Uganda is not intimidated by the AGOA. The U.S. has canceled four countries, African countries, in the year just ended. Uganda, Central African Republic, Niger, and Gabon. And Uganda said, no, we're not intimidated by that. And the third one is also Uganda has shown, its resistance in terms of, laughing. For example, the U.S. has imposed, again, it's one of its very known instrument against the African leaders by imposing a sanction of travel, not allowing the African officials not to travel to the United States. And guess what? The Ugandan government has made a lemonade out of the lemon. So we will get into that, but step by step. First, I'm going to go and share a video with you what he has said with regards to, when the US asked first, we want to train, we want to build your army, meaning the Ugandan army. And here is his answer.
The Americans came here, and the British and these Western countries, and they said, we want to help you build your army. We said, but we have already built the army. That's how we defeated the government. So we don't want to be over-involved with you people. We can have share some experience. That's all. So that's why you find that we don't have foreign bases here, foreign armies here, based in Uganda, because we didn't need them. We said, foreign armies, what? We can defend ourselves. We don't need anything from anybody. If we
Let me just pause on that. The reality is that you all know. If you have been following our channel here, there are a number of foreign army bases in Africa, whether it's in the West Africa, the French army, and also in number of countries, the U.S. army. In fact, there are only few countries which do not have a foreign army. Some of them you even doubt if they are a sovereign country. So that's really kudos to Uganda. As much as he is, the relation of Uganda with the West is not only good, it's very good. But again, for him as an elder leader in the continent, to show that you can resist. Whether he gonna work at the back door with the imperialists, I don't know. But for now, we take the face value, and this is what he said. And there's no foreign army base in Uganda, so that's what we think. So let's continue.
We need knowledge. You can come and learn and come back. And then we had, of course, they normally, when you hear these African countries getting problems, Niger, this one, Burkina Faso, Mali, Central African Republic, they get problems because of that over-involvement with foreigners in the issue of security. So you can take one example. There's what they call SOFA. SOFA, SOFA, means Status of Forces Agreement. If foreign forces are in Uganda, how should they be handled? So in the US.
Yeah, so that's exactly what you have seen. He brought the example of, the consequence of having a foreign army base here. He brought the example of Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali. There was a number of, they were overcrowded with foreign army base, both the US army and then the French army in the country, very much into the national security of the country, which shouldn't be the case in a sovereign country. But there are some cases that France can pull out because there is this colonial tax that made that French government has forced the Western African country, who used to be the ex-colonies of France, to sign that colonial tax. And there are 11 components in it. And one of them is to run the security in general. The army is trained in France. They are into their economy, into their security, into their political system, and everything. So it's because they cannot operate anymore as a sovereign country, and that's where the coup comes. But coup has two types. There is a good coup and there is a bad coup. So in this case, it's a good coup, it's a revolution. What happened? Because those leaders wanted to take the fate of their country into their hands, they just took matters in their own hands and, decided to work to the interest of their people. That's what happened. Another example that he's bringing is, if what this SOFA is, the agreement of forces, then the forces agreement with regards to, the foreign army in the country, he brings, if a person kills, if that foreign army, one of them kills a Ugandan, for example, where is he going to be tried? In America? Really? Here is what he has to, and there is the best examples that fit it in the continent that happened like this. Let's just, go ahead and make you listen.
Why? Then I said, okay, can we make it reciprocal? So that if our own people are in the US, they make a mistake, they are brought back here. So, no. So I said, Then even at one time, I was trying to compromise with them. I said, okay, I can, if somebody fights in the bar, I don't mind, you can take him and try him in California. But what if he kills a Ugandan or rapes a Ugandan girl? There's no way.
That's it, fam. That he really nailed it. He really nailed it, because just not even far, the neighbor Kenya has such incident, and guess what? It ended in the favor of that foreign troops. The case was there are British army. I mean, all those previous colonizers, European colonizers, have their army bases in those ex-colonies in African countries. It all depends on how strong you are, how committed you are to the interest of your people, your country. So if you're not, then you just allow them, and they just go on and get away with what they have done. Now, I want to bring you an example, how President Museveni nailed it on this one. Here, at Connect Africa, when King Charles paid a visit to Kenya, I came here and I analyzed, what the Kenyan people are demanding from him. There were three things. One, it is the ancestors, who's the Mau Mau movement and their relatives, their their grandchildren, who, their relative, and if some of them, they are a direct victim who have lost people, who have been, ripped of their land and everything. They're asking their thing, for a compensation or reparation. But the other thing is, look what the British Army did. Let me just share that same slide with you. Okay. Now, this is it. Okay, this is the British Army here. While it was on a training, this is in Kenya, they have burned a very Arab land, a farming land of the indigenous people, and they have been forced to be removed from the land. And they have basically, land is everything for these people, and they have lost their land. Look, Charles visit is also resurfacing grievances about the conduct of British soldiers still stationed in Kenya. Some members of the unit, made up of about 400 British military personnel stationed there for training, have been accused of sexual abusing women, sparkling a devastating fire, and using harmful chemicals on the land. The land is not even usable again. Can you even imagine that a Kenyan people doing this in the UK? I mean, let alone this, even a one person committing a mistake or a crime, what's going to happen? And you still keep this army in your country. That's what President Ruto is doing. That's what maybe the previous president, also Uhuru Kenyatta, has done. But this is what exactly President Museveni is talking about. Now, what if he rapes, if you listen to Museveni, he said, what if he rapes a Ugandan woman, a Ugandan girl? What am I going to do? There's no way that I'm going to send your army or your soldier to America. So that's where his compromisation stopped. And he said, no, I don't want to have you here. I will build the army by myself. It's, as a matter of fact, it's built. We don't need your help. If there is a knowledge transfer, we will do that, but we don't need you here. That's what he said. Look at it now. Speaking of the devil, so this British army, one of them actually, he raped this woman and he killed her, and she was found in a pit hole. Okay, now this man has not been tried because he's a British. He has, in fact, he has been boasting around on his social media that how he is not, that the Kenyan government cannot try him. And the thing is just up in the air, and the people have lost their person. And the mother was, in fact, saying that she was the only person that was supporting the family, and they have lost her. Look, a British soldier was a suspect in the killing of Agnes Wanjiru, a sex worker, in 2012, but was never arrested or charged. An agreement between the two countries exempts British soldiers from prosecution. It's our own leaders that are killing us. I mean, I'm telling you right now, it's our own people. This is not up to the British government. You can say, no. If you commit a crime, there's no way you're going to escape that. But look at the agreement. Some lawmakers want to change that. In August, Kenya's parliament launched an inquiry into the activities of British soldiers. Up until now, I can tell you that this thing is not solved. So Museveni, this is why I said he nailed it. Okay, he nailed it. So the other thing is, the third point is now the US has also imposed, why, for example, let me just say this, the US government has canceled 4 countries' membership of the AGOA, which is the African Opportunity, the African Growth Opportunity Act. Okay, this is where the US allows the African traders to export their items, their products without tax. Okay, so they were beneficiaries of this. I mean, it's not only these 4 countries, that is really the latest. There are a number of countries. It happened also to Ethiopia. Whenever the leader is not bowing to the US demand, then one of the punishment is this, and it continues. It doesn't stop there. So the US government has done this to 4 countries, which is Uganda, Central African Republic, and then Niger and Gabon. So the first two, Uganda and Central African Republic, it's because of the controversial homosexuality bill in which the US is saying it's an international human right. And these countries, they have their, they can decide what is best for their people that they govern. So because of that, the US removed Uganda and Central African Republic. Now, Niger and Gabon, it's because of the coup or the revolution that happened in the country, because they want a leader that suits and that obeys, that can be an errand boy to the US. When you refuse to that, then, these kind of punishments are the consequences. Now, look, another thing that the US imposed also on the Ugandan government officials is that to impose a travel sanction. Now, this travel sanction will deny the Ugandan government officials not to travel to the US. Look at now what Museveni is saying to this. Okay, it's really interesting, because everybody thinks to go to the US is for our own benefit. In fact, it's to the contrary. Okay.
Issue of the law we passed of the homosexuals. Some of the foreigners are making a lot of wasting their time. They try to put pressure on us. Well, pressure. If you don't do this, we shall not allow you to go to America. I don't want to go to America. I go to America as a favor to the Americans that I've come to visit you. Because here, what am I lacking here? Here, how can I Okwegomba go to America to do what? This is the most comfortable place on earth.
That's it, Okay, he just nailed it again. This is the most comfortable place on the earth, to be in Africa, where you don't lack anything by being in Africa. So I wish more African leaders are like Museveni, the Sahel states of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have shown for what they stand up. So this is Museveni. Museveni also said, with regards to AGOA, Uganda is not intimidated by it. We will, if you kick us out of AGOA, then we will start also to look for trades with other countries that will respect us, like China, Russia, and others. So this is he answered. So thank you again for tuning here. Let us know in the comment section, what do you think of President Museveni's statement, his response to the US government intimidation and bullying, and let us know also which African leaders you want to be more like President Museveni or like the Sahel states. Let us know in the comment section. Thank you very much again. Go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. If you like what you bring you here, please give it thumbs up, and let's empower each other with knowledge and information. So share the video with your network. It will help our YouTube algorithm. But if you want to help us further, you can go ahead and donate to our PayPal account. That will also will allow us to be committed here more time. Thanks again. It's a ciao for me for now. I'll see you on the next one.